Hey guys, I just wanted to say thank you for being so cool about the watermark thing. A lot of you guys said it doesn't really bother you, and that's awesome. So I think it bothers me more than it bothers anybody else. But I'm familiar with the program. I've been using it for a while, so if it's not really bothering you guys too much, I'll just keep using it. And if the channel picks up and it's worth it for me to pay 50 a month, then maybe one day you'll see the watermarks disappear. So I just wanted to say thank you guys. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Thanks for everything. And God bless you all. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Signs and Wonders. If you're new here, please subscribe. I would like to apologize for the delay in posting. A lot of it's just my videos in limbo while I'm waiting for YouTube to pass the review. But it is a problem I am aware of, and I am working hard to decrease the time in between video posts. And as always, before I start, I would like to give a massive thank you to my Patreons and to all of you who helped me bring this message to the world. Severe weather and signs from the heavens. Nearly 2 months worth of rain in just about 4 hours inundates Arjico Corsica. I probably slaughtered that translation, but heavy flooding hit the capital of Ajaccio in the French Mediterranean island of Corsica on Thursday, June 11th, 2020, sweeping away vehicles and trapping motorists on the roads. According to Meteo France, I guess some news media, 44 millimeters or 2 inches of rain fell in just 4 hours, which is almost twice the country's average rainfall for the entire month. Training thunderstorms, which are thunderstorms that move over the same area in a relatively short period of time, formed over the city around 9:30 a.m., causing flash flooding almost immediately. Roadways were turned into raging rivers as parked cars and other street objects were swept away. The Operational and Response Center for the Corse du Sud said it was overflowing with calls during midday. Record heavy flooding hits the capital of Ajaccio and French Mediterranean island of Corsica on Thursday, June 11th. We already read that. This is just an article in the paper, sweeping away vehicles and trapping motorists. According to the Meteo France, like I said, 2 inches of rain fell in just under 4 hours, which is crazy, guys. That's all the rain they get in like a month and a half, so big time flooding. Firefighters conducted multiple emergency operations to save people trapped in their vehicles. Most rescues were on the Martial, June, and Noël Franchi avenues, wherever that is, just north of downtown. Oh, well, I guess that's where it is. Meteo France also reported that other parts of the city recorded more rain than the official reporting station, some up to 120 millimeters or 5 inches of rain, due to the very localized nature of intense rains. Initial reports said much of the damage was in the Partabella and Salini neighborhoods, where multiple homes and businesses were affected. Crews are yet to identify the full extent of the damage until floodwaters subside and areas are safe to be assessed. Severe weather damages camps hosting 140,000 IDPs in Burkina Faso and Nigeria. Heavy rains since early June 2020 have triggered widespread floods in West Africa, causing damage particularly to camps accommodating more than 140,000 internationally displaced people, or IDP, in Nigeria and Burkina Faso. In Burkina Faso, heavy rainfall from June 5th caused flooding in several communes in the center Nord region. Among the affected areas were Kongusi, Pensa, and Barsaloga. Floodwaters in the central Nord region damaged camps hosting 140,000 internationally displaced people. Kongusi is about 62 miles north of the capital Ouagadougou, which saw 29 millimeters of rain in June 9th. According to the UN Office for the Coordination of Human Affairs, flooding left 24 people injured, about 700 shelters destroyed, and 2,900 damaged. Urgent needs include the rehabilitation of 2,900 affected shelters, distribution of essential household items and water hygiene and sanitation kits to affected households, urgent relocation of IDPs living in flood-prone areas, and new food distributions, the UN wrote. For displaced families in Kongusi, this is the second flooding incident of the season, which is rare. Some of these camps were in areas known to be vulnerable to floods and had also been inundated in April this year. For other displaced families in Kongosi, this is the third flooding incident this season now. Some of these camps were in areas known to be vulnerable for flooding. We already covered that. Another headline reads, 1,246 persons who reside in IDP camps across Borno State have been displaced after 240 shelters were damaged by heavy weather conditions as the rainy season begins. Ferocious windstorm hits Benishikishi, the headquarters of Kaga LG Borno State. Thousands were rendered homeless. Worst hit were the IDPs, internationally displaced people. In Nigeria, heavy rainfall accompanied by a windstorm impacted parts of Borno State on June 8th, inflicting damage to shelters in several IDP camps, the International Organization for Migration reported. The severe weather also affected around 1,200 people and damaged around 250 shelters in IDP camps in Jiri, Dambao, Kandagu, and Madagari. These areas are the ones that bore the brunt of the rains. So this next article, guys, is near and dear to my heart. All lives matter, and we are all one race under God. And don't get me wrong here, guys, like, I'm an ex-dope dealer, and all the cops in this town still know me by name. They treat me like garbage, so I'm in no way supporting the abuse of people by the police. In my eyes, the cops are more criminal than any dope dealers or so-called gangsters that I know from my past life. They're just a legal, organized gang, like, straight up. All I am saying is that all lives matter, not just black lives. So a left-wing organization called Christianity Today is calling on churches to lead the way in biblical restitution for racial sin, claiming that repentance is not enough. Champions of the far-left Laodicean church and magazine called Christianity Today, and started by Billy Graham, has decided to throw their hat into the ring surrounding the discussion on racial tensions and Black Lives Matter. Their solution? America's Christian churches need to pay reparations or financial compensation to descendants of black slaves from the 18th and 19th centuries. When all else fails, pay people off, right, guys? What about the Jews who lived through the horrors of Nazi Germany, and the families of those who didn't receive financial compensation for what the Nazis stole from them, and for what they did to the Jews in the Holocaust? What about that? But here, 75 years after the end of World War II, those reparations are nearly all ended, as most of the people have died. I'm not saying reparations are a bad idea. They're not a bad idea for the generation who was victimized. But when you get decades and centuries down the road, reparations are virtually impossible to rightly calculate. But that's not the only problem that I have with reparations. Many African Americans now living in the United States are not descended from U.S. slaves, and as such, they would receive nothing. Could you imagine the outbursts of rage and riots from the people who in their mind deserve compensation because they're black, receive none, and then have to watch as friends and neighbors do so? Then of course the ones who receive compensation will immediately say it's not enough, no matter how much it is, to compensate for incalculable pain and suffering. It would just be a money grab given to angry African American people in the hopes of stopping the riots. Pretty terrible idea in my opinion. So, in the 1970s and onward, we started to give preferential treatment to ethnicities, like college admissions, healthcare, and a host of other things. It was not a success to say the least, causing more societal harm as opposed to helping African Americans. It lowered the standards for people based on skin color, which gave rise to a near-permanent welfare class. Reparations would fare no better. We are all one race under God. People need to understand that. Alright guys, thank you so very much for watching, for subscribing, and for sharing my videos. You know, that's the most important part about what I do here, guys, is to share my videos. I want as many people as possible to see it and to hear the message, because I truly believe we are in the birth pains and the end is near. So if you like my videos and you want to help, just share them everywhere you can. Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Thanks again, guys. God bless you all and your families. Oh, and keep your eyes open for my upcoming live shows. I really want to get that started again. Peace and love to you all, and we'll see you next time.